Previously, on Rise of the Runelords. After the creature Lucretia vanished from their fight, our heroes decided to explore the main building of the fort. Moving inside, they found it swathed in horror, the ogres obviously engaging in gleeful destruction, as the fort was a gruesome scene of utter sadistic glee. Upon finding stairs leading down deeper into the fort, the party decided to descend, ultimately coming upon a room with a pool of fresh blood in the center of the floor, with a trail leading around the room through a set of doors. Following the open door further into the basement, the group entered the room to find Lucretia, a pair of ogres, and a single prisoner with a time delay fireball spell hanging over his head. Lucretia addressed the party, saying no one needed to get hurt as long as they considered the message she had from her Lord Kurzog, an offer to split up Varicia into 7 kingdoms and grant each party member the power to hold dominion over one to rule it as they saw fit, so long as each one of them proved their loyalty to him. Knowing that none in the group would take up this pledge, Tarnin pulled upon his prowess in pontification to distract the python-pantsed priestess as he proceeded to subtly saunter towards the kneeling man and...
Then he casted his mage hand and grabbed the flaming bead popcorn thingy and threw it...
Whoa, wait. What are you doing?
Telling everyone what happened?
Right. Okay, but that's my job. I narrate these recaps.
But it was so cool. Can I just do a little bit, please?
I don't know. Doing these is a pretty big deal.
I think I can handle it. I mean, my dad's the dungeon master after all. Bum, bum, bum!
Ah. Carry on.
The mage hand grabbed the beating popcorn thingy and flung it all the way away from the prisoner, hitting the cell bars where it exploded, turning one of the ogres into ash. And then it all went pew, 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 smash, pew, 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 crack, pew, pew.
Well done, Padawan. Well done. After the explosion, the battle started in earnest. The group took the first ogre out easily before facing off against Lucretia. Though she was a fearsome foe, the battle quickly turned when Icky stunned the creature, allowing Grelda to finish her off by sending her head flying into the nearest wall with a satisfying smack.
Today, the adventure continues. Bum, bum, bum!
Alright, so yeah. We pick up after Grelda just decapitated Lucretia, her head smacking against the wall and slowly sliding down.
Did we check for loot yet?
No, that just ended. And Bill, I didn't hear anything you just said.
How about now?
There you go.
I look down on my feet. Hi, turning cap's good. Who the hell are you?
The down as you look down at your feet, you see a dark-skinned man, his head completely bald, with a few weeks' growth of facial hair. Even kneeling, you can tell he's extremely tall, probably 6.5 feet. And he has the look of a man who most likely was once very muscular, but through weeks of malnutrition and torture, he looks like a shadow of himself. And his head kind of tilts up at you, and he just has this glazed look on his eyes. What? And he's like he is looking around in a fog, like he just woke up.
Hold on. I don't know if I have... 1 second. Carry on with the Geison's looting, of course.
Is Geisen gonna loot?
Yeah, look around to see what there might be to find.
They give me an investigation check. If you're...
Would anybody like to help? Or is there anybody that has
Is there anybody who is...
proficiency?
You don't want Grelda helping.
Yeah, you don't want my
Yeah,
help.
I would like to help, but I don't think I can.
Grelda has half... Oh no, Sanishi has half proficiency.
Yeah, I said I don't
Can
know.
I get half for help?
Can I kind of help?
Let me see. Gyson...
Actually,
I don't think anybody...
I think I'm good. 29.
Oh, wow. Okay. As you look around through the ogres, just like all the ogres outside, you see that their weapons are either far too large, in the case of the one that had a tree trunk that he was swinging around, basically, or the chains are rusted and not of much use. They don't have any gold or anything on them of value. They do have the same tattoos of the mountain with the hook imposed on the front of it. When you search Lucretia, you do find the spell scroll that she was holding when you walked in, along with a small rolled up tube of paper that was tucked in her pack.
Gyson's very interested in those last two items, so he would take those.
All right. Then you take them, mark them down.
So the one you said is a spell scroll?
Yes, because of my slip of the tongue. It is a spell. Well, because when Icky walked in, she was holding a scroll in one hand, and he saw another scroll in the process of disintegrating from her other hand.
How long would it take me to check those items out to figure out what they are?
Well, the spell scroll... Well, honestly, you would need to unroll them if you wanted. And then you could just look at them. The spell scrolls you've encountered in the past are... you can tell what they are immediately. It would take time to, copy it down into your spell book.
I guess I'll wait and see what else is going on first.
Okay.
Okay.
Tarnan will, first off, is this guy bound, or is he just kind of...
He is on his knees, and his hands have just been on his thighs the whole time. And this is the first, and when you're speaking to him now and he's looking around dazed, this is the first he's actually moved since you got into the room.
Do you know where you are?
Kind of... Is this the cells in the basement?
Yes. Do you know who you are?
I am Vale Temros. What? Who are you? What is this? And he points to the ogre that is just sliced open and bleeding next to him. What the ogre's dead?
What's the last thing you remember? Before right now?
The snake lady and the two ogres, they came and they walked into the cell and she started talking and everything went fuzzy.
Okay, well, Snake Lady's dead. Her ogre guards are dead. We're trying to take back this fort. Tell me more about who you are and how you got to this place.
And then he doesn't stand up, but he kind of ends up pushing himself back. So he's sitting on his butt and he just wipes his head. I'm a Black Arrow. I've been the Black Arrows my entire life. Everybody else is dead. Am I the last one?
You're the first one we found alive.
They've been taking people every day for weeks. There've been less and less of us, and now the last one they took a few hours before she came back.
Sorry about your friends and your post. Are you hurt?
Very, very hungry, but they hadn't really gotten around to having fun with me yet. I've been lucky, I guess you could say.
Well, you got your life. That's about as far as your luck went. Tarn hands him a ration. Yeah, just a standard ration.
Alright. He looks at it for a second and then just hungrily starts chowing on it.
Tarn sighs and then hands him a water skin.
And he, without even saying a word, he tilts his head back and you can see the water like coming out the sides of his mouth. And again, you can tell that he has been neglected for an extremely long time.
So out of character, does he look physically injured?
Not that you can see. I mean, he definitely looks extremely malnourished, like extremely gaunt, and just has like the skin is tight against his bones, but he doesn't look to be cut or anything more than a couple of bruises.
Guys, you got any questions for our friend? I'm going to take a look around. Tarn puts a hand on the new guy's shoulder, whose name I've already forgotten.
Vale.
Thank you. And says, we'll see about taking care of you. Rest here for a while. Dyson and a couple of other troop will probably have some better questions than I did for you. Answer truthfully, help out where you can, and we'll get you back to your home.
He hands you back the water skin. Rest.
I push it back in his hand and say, no, go ahead and finish that. You need it more than I do.
I'll take you up on that. Thank you.
So, Belle, any idea why they left you last?
The luck of the draw, the short straw. I do not know. They've been. Half of us died when they first came. They've been enjoying the rest of us for the last couple of weeks.
And has it been the ogres that have come in and taken you gradually?
Yes, they whether they talking about sport or being hungry or bored or wanting to ask questions, they grab someone, they take them, and never see them again. So you haven't seen anybody else in the fort yet?
You're the only one we found.
Hey, to be fair, we've been, the courtyard in here?
Yeah, we haven't looked upstairs.
Like, we haven't...
It's true, there are places we haven't looked yet.
Based on what we have seen, I wouldn't get your hopes up.
If somebody hadn't been caught by the ogres yet, I don't know how they could have survived the last month. And maybe somebody got lucky and they had not finished with them yet, but...
Do you know of any good places somebody could hide here at the fort for that long?
Not for that long. Maybe a few hours, a couple of days, but this fort was not built for hide and seek. It was built for housing the Black Arrows. I only hope that maybe somebody got out, but with the way they came, I don't know if anybody could have got away.
Do you have any idea why the Snake Lady wanted this fort?
She seemed to take pleasure in our suffering. I mean, I heard snippets of needing us out of the way. The attack didn't come until we had the scouting party out, so I'm assuming she wanted the Black Arrows gone for some reason. I know that we've always kept the Hook Mountain clan at bay. Maybe they talked her into getting revenge. I don't know.
So Icky goes up to him, puts his, a claw on his shoulder, like looks at him just really meaningfully, and says, "Did any of them mark any of you with a 7-pointed star?"
They did not add it to anybody while we were down here. There were more than a few of us who already had it from visiting the paradise. Some of them were told that it would give them extra privileges. Some of them went to the paradise far more than others. But they did not do it to anybody down here. I don't know about whoever they took.
Do you have the mark on you?
No. I'm the only one who was left who did not, but I heard the rumors that getting it would give you extra coin, let you go into the paradise for free, back in the back rooms, the girls. A lot of the Black Arrows were more than happy to get it done, but I was never offered, so...
Like he just kind of lightly pats him on the shoulder. It's like, that may have saved your life, friend. Yeah, backs off.
Whatever it's worth now. So, how many ogres did you kill? I'm assuming this is not all you've done since you got here.
How many ogres do you think there are?
It's like, we killed like what? Including the hunting part.
10?
Yeah, for us.
One day, 3, 6, 8 or 9 so far.
I think we should round up.
10, 15, 20, whatever. I never got a good look at an exact number. I know when they came up, when they surprised us at first, there was at least 18, maybe more. I don't know if they were all here. Every once in a while I would see new ones, and then the ones I had seen for days would be gone. I know lately, the last 3 or 4 days, I think, the last 3 or 4 sleeps I've had, however long it's been, there's been less. The ones I've seen before, I have not seen lately. I don't know. Maybe they got bored as we started to whittle away.
Where are the orcs camped at? Like, where are they normally based at?
The ogres?
Or the ogres?
Yeah, I was gonna say, excuse me,
The ogres, this is the Hook Mountain clan. They're from up in the Hook Mountains to the north. They come down sometimes. They try to intrude, try to come after us, but nothing more than skirmishes.
do you have an idea as to at least the original numbers of the Hook Mountain clan?
No, I can say that we did not make many travels to their clan hold to get good numbers. We would send out scouting parties to make sure that they stayed where they were supposed to, but I don't know if I could give you an exact number.
Are we talking hundreds, dozens, thousands?
Oh, thankfully not hundreds. Maybe 2 dozen, 3 dozen, maybe something like that. Not many more than that. They are not kind to each other, so the weak ones get picked off rather quickly.
Do you know if there are any black arrows that would have been out on a scouting party or a mission or something that might still be alive?
The scouting party that went out before the initial surprise, I know they came back. We were all either unconscious or tied up when they tried to save us. It did not go well. Against just the ogres maybe, but the snake lady and her magic, they did not stand a chance. And as far as I know, it was just the one scouting party that went out. I can hope that maybe not all of them came back. Maybe some of them were smart enough to go down to Turtleback and ask for help. I don't know.
Not that we heard.
Nope.
Character, can anyone remind me what Ironbriar, like why Ironbriar sent us? Was it just haven't heard from them, want to hear from them, or like was there a mission they were on?
Hadn't been heard from. From what I remember, they just hadn't been heard from in a couple of weeks and wanted us to go up there and find out what the issue was.
Yep.
Did the Black Arrows have any wizards or sages or anything as part of your group?
No, there was a pastor. He could do a little bit of healing beyond the norm, but no wizards, no mages. This is sorry, my little friend, but this is a tough country, and not many magic users last long up here.
Are you aware of anything magical or mystical about this area that would have drawn somebody like the Snake Lady?
Oh, I mean, the Black Arrows have been here for 40 years, and nothing that's magical or mystical or anything like that has come up before. I don't know why anything would change now.
Tarn walks back over. Was the Snake Lady with the ogres when they first assaulted, or did she show up afterwards?
She was with them when they came up from this level. The ogres came, surprised us, and she was not part of the initial assault, but in the chaos, she was around, smiling and laughing and wanting to make sure everybody knew that she had won, that she had snuck in, and she was going to make sure the Black Arrows were done. She even made sure that those of us that lived knew why or how she had gotten in. A couple of days after the initial assault, she brought us all up to the courtyard and made us all sit in a circle. And in the middle, she brought Caven Windstrike. And she sat him down and made him tell us that he was the one who showed her the waterfall entrance. He said it was because he loved her. He wanted to spend more time with her and sneak her into the fort. So he snuck this beautiful woman in, And the only secret entrance. And then she allowed us to decide his fate. I went back down to the basement before it was decided, but he did not follow us, so I think he got Treta's death.
Okay.
Other out of character. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, you first.
Oh, well, Grelda's not real smart, so these are Tammy comments, trying to like figure out what's going on. Like, do we know much about where the Hook Mountain ogres, like that side of the country or whatever, like where they came from? Is that like on the other side of some mountains or like?
That is actually to the north of where you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hook Mountain is to the north.
Let me
I think
see.
you remember hearing that.
I'm trying to see if I can find, like... So I know there was a map, but I don't know if I still have it. Nope. Anyway, it is, the Hook Mountains are to the north, and they run along to the dam. Skull's Crossing. And then Torval Deep is behind it. But it's, you have been able to see the mountains the entire time you've been here. No.
Didn't hear that, Tammy.
I said, what were you going to say, Tarnan?
Vale, how long before you are ready to travel?
Okay, hold on. Before I answer that... Let's see. Where it says the Storval Deep at the top, the north side. To the east is the Wavern Mountains, and then to the west, right above Fort Rannoch, that is the Hook Mountains, and that mountain range runs along the north side.
Are the sheep significant?
You count them, and it's like a sleep spell.
I don't believe it.
Alright, Nate, I think you're gonna need to close that. I can't. But anyway, alright, so... I can walk now. I need to not be down here anymore. Spent more time in this cell than I ever thought I would.
Grelda, do you have some maybe alcohol for him to help get him through that hallway upstairs?
There's no amount of alcohol that's going to help with that.
Well, I mean, no, but a little is better than none.
Not in his current condition. Grelda will not, like, kill someone with alcohol. And if he's as malnourished as the DM is saying he is, then a solid chunk of alcohol is not going to be good for his system.
Sanishi alcohol, you all know how much Sanishi drinks. So, seems like a good idea to her.
She just knows that the alcohol helps you guys feel good.
Yep, alcohol makes things better.
Oh dear, this is not the message of this episode.
Hey kids, alcohol makes everything better. Is Olivia down here? Nope. Okay.
Except for bloodbaths.
We are totally going to make Olivia say that for the next recap.
No, that honestly, that should be the name of this. That's the name of this episode. I don't care that it has absolutely nothing to do with what actually happens. Kids, alcohol makes everything better.
Is there anything else in this room that we haven't looked at that seems important or?
You can. Why don't you give me a perception check?
Anybody want to help with that?
I know somebody can.
I can.
Okay, there you go.
I'll let you roll it twice, though. You have good rolls.
Perception you want?
Well,
Yes.
Yeah, I can help with perception, but not investigation.
Are you gonna have help? So please.
18.
What was that?
18.
18. You don't notice anything particular in the cell block that would be of interest, except to the east. As you came in, you did notice that the wall, which looks like it should be flat stone, has been opened, and there is a doorway. It has been pulled out, and you did notice that when you came in too.
Let's go investigate.
Let's check it out.
All right. As you walk and make your way, you peek past the opening, and you do notice that it's smooth stone, and you can very easily tell that when the wall is pushed, it would be it would match the wall around it, so it would be very hard to see. As you step into it, you see what is almost like a cave system. You see stalagmites, stalactites, and you can hear rushing water, rushing waterfall, kind of echoing off the stones.
I take it this is the entrance to the waterfall veil?
It's a couple of 100 yards, and that'll take you to the waterfall.
I'll send Ollivander down to take a look.
Okay. It kind of weaves its way. It's about 20 to 25 feet wide at its widest. It goes down to 15, 20 at certain spots, just like naturally. And you can tell that it is completely naturally formed. Ollivander, give me a perception check for Ollivander.
Don't really remember how to find his... Oh, here we go. Perception. Oh, there was... Okay. Damn it, Ollivander. 11.
11. Ollivander does notice like a couple of alcoves that kind of circle in. They go about 10 feet, but he can see the walls on the end. There does seem to be a couple of wooden crates opened and empty, and they do say Paradise on the front of them. And then continues about 125 feet, 150 feet, and comes to a waterfall.
No sign of any enemies or anything?
No. Outside of the sound of the water echoing off the stone walls, he doesn't hear anything.
Okay. I tell Ollivander to come back, and I relay this to the group.
Okay.
Excellent. Hey, I have another favor to ask of you guys. Could you use Ollivander to make short work of checking out the rest of the keep, making sure it's clear?
Sure.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
actually, Vale, I know nobody should be able to live in any of the hidden spaces, but between weird things happening and just making sure we get as full accounting as possible, where are the hidden places in the keep that you know about?
You guys just looked at the only one.
Oh.
This place was not built to hide things. It was built to house my family.
I appreciate the straightforwardness of that.
All right, so I'll send Ollivander up to look around.
Okay, so he goes back into the room that you had originally come in, that had the pool of blood on the floor, and then the blood droplets going around. It had the dresser and the table. Then up the stairs, you had already searched the first floor, so Ollivander would go up the second floor. The second floor is much like the first, more single rooms in the same state of gleeful destruction as the rest of the keep. There's also a chapel on the north side. All the doors are either open or torn off and laying on the ground. The room is much larger than any of the others on the floor. Ollivander can see that the walls are adorned with trophy antlers of various sizes, most of which are draped with bits of rotten flesh, strips of skin, and coils of viscera. On the far western end, there is a marble altar that has been heaped with the remains of at least a half dozen men, not together, but in pieces. A crude image of a 7-pointed star 8 feet wide has been painstakingly painted in blood above it. And outside of the rest of the 7 Sahedrons you've seen, which seem to be done with the talent of preschoolers, this one is actually quite well done. But other than that, Ollivander doesn't see or hear anything else that would grab his attention.
Okay. I guess again I'll have them come back and I relay that to the group.
All right. Well, I guess that's one more point in the direction.
Other character, can you remind me, did we check out the dresser and table in the other room when we came down?
No.
Okay.
I guess that leaves one more stone pointing in the direction that we need to go take care of the rest of these ogres. Anyone disagree with that idea?
No, but do we want to leave the 7-sided star intact?
No,
What's
but I
going
wanted
on?
to.
They're creeping me out. Other than the one I carry on me.
I'm sorry, say that again, Jill. I didn't hear that last part. Okay.
Oh, other than the one I carry on me.
All right. I'm going to start collecting these remains and building a pyre. If someone wants to help out, that'd be fantastic.
On it.
Did Vale leave? Where is Vale at?
He's still sitting on his butt.
Okay, Grelda, well, Sanishi offered it, so I guess Grelda would talk to Sanishi. We need to get him out of here and into fresh air. I think he shouldn't see it, though. Do you want to lead him out while he's blindfolded or has his eyes closed, or would you like me to? I'm
probably better at hauling bodies.
All right.
He can hear the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the thought, but they've been killing us for weeks, and I've been a part of the Black Arrows since I was born. Blood and death and destruction are not new to me, even if there are people that I know. I appreciate the thought, but...
I put my hand on his shoulder. Vale, I literally take blood baths and love it. Upstairs is rough for me.
Did I get hit on the head?
No. You heard her. She said what she said.
I look him in the eyes very just sincerely and nod.
Speaking of bloodbaths, there's a pool back in that other room.
I know, I've been a little bit excited. Shh, should I not gonna say that in front of Vale?
I know ogres, and I know what they like to do. I can guess what it looks like. I just want to get outside.
Let's move.
You could take them out to the waterfall. That's an easy way out that doesn't go through all the carnage.
Isn't there some old Black Arrow anecdote about how you shouldn't go chasing waterfalls?
All right, I'm done. I'm done for the night. Thank you, guys.
Look, you made Tammy leave.
I was gonna say that. Yep, she's like, no. No TLC quotes. No, we're done. We're done.
So Sean, really quick
Yeah.
question. I was hoping to ask a moment ago, but audio issues. So leveling up to level 9. Was there really anything? Like, I just double checked it during the break and towards the end of that session. Was there really anything that I needed to pick for monk level 9? It didn't seem like.
Don't think so. Did you ever do the
Yes,
the
I
skills
chose the feat.
or you chose the feat? Okay,
I actually distinctly remember. Tammy, tell me if you remember this too. I remember us talking about the Sentinel feat.
So I have the Sentinel feat. I don't
Yes.
remember talking about it with you, but I gotta be honest with you, I don't remember a whole lot of the last session.
Right? No, it wasn't even the last session because this was back when we leveled up to level 8.
Okay.
Because I have a very distinct memory of talking with somebody about that feat and deciding yes, it would be good. But
it is very
apparently
good.
I never locked it in.
no.
So
And I didn't realize that you hadn't actually done anything with that until I was looking at your level 9 stuff. I was like, oh yeah.
So you just have no feats? Or
no,
Missing
only
a feat?
claws. No
Just
feats.
cook laws. All right.
All right, thank you.
All right, so we left off with not chasing waterfalls.
Oh yeah. So my suggestion was to take him out through the waterfall path so he doesn't have to see everything, but it's up to you guys. And Geison's gonna go in the blood room to investigate the dresser.
Yeah, I'll follow Geisen.
All right, if you're going to investigate the dresser, give me an investigate. Actually, just give me a room-wide investigation check.
As I'm hauling bodies and working on the pier, check if there's anything that'll make a decent cake, will ya? Been a minute.
Cake or cape?
Yes.
Cape.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
A cake that you wear as a cape.
I am not going to be picky about this one. Not in cape and cake are the options.
Let me make sure. Yeah, 17.
17. In the dresser, there's four drawers. They're all pulled out haphazardly. There is what you would consider a normal assortment of female clothing items. Nothing seems out of the ordinary for what a woman the size and shape of Lucretia would wear. But they're definitely, you could tell that the drawers were opened quickly and rifled through quickly.
So what is normal for a snake-bottomed woman to wear?
Well, she looked like a normal human when you saw her the first time.
Are you really asking Sean what underwear a snake lady wears? Is that what's happening here?
I think you're muted, Bill.
Oh, that's up to
Bill.
Bill.
It's not all about you. It's
Is
all about Bill.
Val,
That makes
is
sense.
Val still available, or has he been let out somewhere?
As far as I
believe
know,
no
he's still
decision has
standing.
been made.
Yeah. He's still sitting on his butt.
Has this dresser always been here, Val, or did the snake lady bring this dresser here?
So I'm assuming you're wanting him to... Are you yelling into the other room, or is somebody kind of
I
leading
like walk
him?
into the other room and
Okay.
just ask him if there used to be a dresser in that room.
No, that room was a chair, a table. That was it. Thankfully, few times that the Black Arrows needed to sleep a night off or did something against another Black Arrow, they stayed in these cells. That was where the jailer worked. Thankfully, it was an extra job because of how infrequently it had to be used. There's not been a dresser or anything other than table and chairs in there.
Good, thank you. Is there, I don't know, like I checked in the drawers, is there anything about the dresser itself that seems significant or...
Not the dresser, it just seems honestly, it just seems like a dresser.
I mean, I guess it's probably standard procedure to bring a dresser with you to the fort that you conquered and set it up in the dungeon.
I mean, honestly, I was thinking it's really freaking weird that, like, she unpacked clothes somewhere that she conquered. Like, that... Like, I don't even unpack clothes when, like, I'm in a hotel room for 4 days. Or a week. Like, that just... No. What?
I do. If I'm there more than one night, I unpack all my clothes.
I unpack all my clothes immediately, unless it's just overnight. Like Montreal.
I know.
The fact that
You people are monsters.
she might have kept whatever those scrolls are in her like underwear drawer, so to speak, and that might be why it feels rifled through.
Oh, it was rifled through? I missed that part. Yeah, that could be.
I mean, or just
How about the table or anything else in the room seem interesting?
So you go to look at the table, and like you where is it? On the table, there we go. There are papers strewn across it. Almost all of the writing on the paper is obstructed by multiple inkwells that have been tipped over. As you do kind of push them to the side, you do manage to see part of a map of the Turtleback Ferry region. It's specifically Turtleback Ferry and then Skull's Crossing, the dam to the northeast, are both underlined, but the rest of the map is just soaked with ink. You also, let's see. Actually, no, that's really the only thing on the desk or on the table that seems legible, that hasn't been soaked through.
So, question for you. Does the ink that is spilled on it count as dirty for the purposes of prestidigitation?
That's hilarious, because I was just going to ask the exact same
thing. If I deem that it does, and you use prestidigitation to remove the ink, you would also remove the ink that was under the ink, because it would remove all the ink.
Oh.
I'm going to say no in general, no. It does not count as dirt, but if I did allow it, it would just, you'd have a clean sheet of parchment. Kind of like when you use mending.
Yeah, I didn't pick up
mending.
How about the pool of blood? What's the deal with that?
Why don't you give me a wisdom check? Just a general wisdom check.
While he's doing that, DM, where did Vale end up going?
He originally stood up when Geisen came back in and talked to him, and as Geisen went back in, he kind of followed into this room. So he is kind of standing there leaning against the wall.
Where? Downstairs still?
Yes, in the room that Geisen is currently looking through.
So then, while I've been helping move bodies and set this pyre up, something has occurred to him. I'm going to go find Vale, and we'll go back downstairs, eventually find Vale, and then ask him if he wants me to lead him upstairs real quick. Obviously, he knows the direction, but if he wants someone to go with you, I'll go with you. Let's go.
Upstairs to the second floor?
No, to the courtyard, out of here.
Yes, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
And if you would like to help set this pyre to put your friends to rest, it would be appreciated, and I would understand needing to see this done.
I should. And he follows you up. Begins slowly moving around the courtyard and grabbing pieces of people.
On the way up, Tarns ask him, I'm assuming you had a commanding officer, and assuming that he is also gone, are there any artifacts, papers, items that should probably go with us out of here to not fall into ogre hands if they haven't already.
I mean, the only thing that the ogres could have used against us would have been the scouting schedule, but even that was only made a week or two ahead of time. We didn't have secrets or intelligence or anything that was of any use to anybody but us. I can't think of anything that the ogres would take that would be of use to them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that this fort was what stopped the ogres from heading farther south to Turtleback and causing them more grievous harm.
That's been the main point of the Black Arrows, is to keep the ogres and ogrekin in check in the area, to make sure they stay by their clan hold and don't venture too far out to make life difficult for others.
Okay, so I find myself with a bit of a dilemma. I have 2 tasks that need to be taken care of as soon as possible. Number 1, going after the remaining ogres and slowing them down or taking them out. Number 2, someone's got to get back to Magnemar and report to Justice Ironbriar what happened here. Which one are you up for?
I want to see the ogres dead.
It's going to be dangerous, and I cannot guarantee your safety. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Geralda's going to ask me not to let you come.
Geralda, who has been following behind you, puts her hand down.
Out of character, Geisen isn't in. He can't hear this conversation, right?
No, we're gonna jump back to Geisen down in the basement after this little segue.
Okay, I just want to make sure he would be able to hear this. Okay.
Vale just shakes his head. There is such a large part of me that wants to tell you to go straight to the 9 hells and that I will avenge my brothers and sisters, but I have to be honest with you and myself. I would be more of a detriment in a fight in this condition than I would be a help. I can point you in the right direction. I can give you some clues and suggestions, but I don't know if I would be useful right now.
Then my suggestion is we will see the pyre through tonight, get you a good night's rest, get you another day or so of rest. If you choose to come with, I would use you as a witness to whatever happens to us. Follow us, and when we go in, if we don't come back out, you need to report to Ironbriar. Do you find that acceptable?
This I can do. I mean, I've always been good at hiding, even in my current condition. Hell, losing all that muscle might help me hide in the trees.
Tarnan looks down this time. Does this meet with the lady's approval?
I'm trying to imagine how Relda would respond to this. I think she would think about it for slightly uncomfortably long and then finally nod. And then go and start helping Sanishi. Actually, she would give him, because he hasn't thrown up or anything, so she would give him another ration, and then she would go help Sanishi.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And then starts nibbling away at it. After wiping his hands on his very dirty clothes. He takes it, starts nibbling away at it.
Well, look, he's not going to fit into my spare clothes, okay?
No, I meant the blood from picking up the body parts.
May I be of assistance there?
You can help me eat?
No, clean you up.
I'm not a fan of cold baths, but if you want to help me draw some water.
Well, since people brought up Press to do the chasing, I might as well use it on him.
Okay. He just kind of like looks down as the dirt and grime disappear from his body and clothes and be like, we could have used you when the Black Arrows were around. Would have saved us a lot of washing. Thank you.
I think my talents are somewhat higher than a scullery maid cleaning pots, pans, and clothing, but maybe not.
Says him.
Unexpected uses for a warlock.
Great.
Cleaning crew. All right. So he thanks you and then sets back to the job of going in the outbuildings and collecting the dead bodies. And then we shift back to the basement and Geisen.
Is it possible for anybody to assist me?
Is anybody still down there?
I was following Geisen.
Okay.
But if you're investigating, I do not believe I am.
There's wisdom.
A wisdom check.
Which I don't really know how that works. But
Would you? Yeah, you're not.
Insight. I'm proficient at insight.
For the purpose of this particular check, I'll let you roll with advantage because you would be. Once you roll, I'll kind of tell you what my thought process was on this.
Well then, 21.
21. I just use general wisdom because you're trying to figure out what's up with the blood. So I would you'd be talking about it with each other, trying to piece together. And what you do come up with is Lucretia was badly injured, and then she vanished and reappeared. And your guess is that she reappeared in the center of the room, bleeding profusely. And then the healing that you had seen from her took effect as she moved around the room, hence the trail of blood that lessened and then led into the jail cell. So you're guessing where the pool of blood is where she appeared initially, and then her healing picked up as she moved around.
Cool. Okay. Thanks. Guys, and I guess I'll ask Icky, how long do you think it's going to take them to fetch all of the various body parts and then, deal with them?
I don't know. There were a lot of bodies, but that's an able-bodied crew up there. Probably.
I'm sorry, are we not doing phrasing anymore? That was fantastic.
So is that enough to hit level 10?
No.
No.
You go down to 5. You went back down to 4 for the TLC comment. This will take you back up to 5.
I would like you to imagine Sinishi and Grelda like just throwing stuff like on top. So we're just like higher and higher heaps of things on top of our heads before carrying them over to the pyre.
That's the efficient way to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't you have like blood
And
and
I
guts and stuff?
Also,
Just
imagine that, like the entire time Sinishi is trying to play or at least write a power montage for this, like body moving montage.
Gonna need a montage.
Also, in response to your question, Lars, I think everyone got prestidigitated except for Grelda after the first ogre battle, and Grelda has not had a bath since then, and I just beheaded a snake lady. This is not extra gore. She has been delightful this entire trip.
It's fair enough.
You've taken some... Wait, when did your shampoo run out? Because that was the last bath you took.
Yeah, it ran out at the last major city.
I think it was Turtleback Ferry.
Yeah.
Yes, a major city or like Turtleback Ferry? Because somehow I have not taken notes on your shampoo usage. I feel like a slacker.
I actually do believe that was spoken about the last time Grelda said she took a bath, but she said she used the last of it.
It was.
Yep.
It was spoken about, which is how I know she used the last of it. But I just didn't write it down anywhere.
Well, while they're doing that, Geisen's going to take a look at the spell scroll, but like carefully in case there's anything crazy about it.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand.
You're trying to carefully unroll a scroll.
Where's Tarnan when I need him?
I know where he is. I know.
He's
We have
up
a
moving
card.
dead
He's
bodies.
upstairs. Hard for this.
Well, you guys didn't tell me which. You guys actually did not tell me which 5 of the 8 cards you wanted.
Oh yeah, that's right. I
11.
want action surge.
Where is that? There we go.
Dyson wants skeleton key.
Probably.
Yeah, I didn't actually look that closely.
Alright, so I will say 11. You very slowly. Icky is just watching this as Geisen takes the better part of 3 minutes to unroll the spell scroll, just centimeter by centimeter, and just with a very pained and concentrated look on his face. And as he fingertips grab the both ends and like pull it, and then I can see Icky in my head like leaning forward the more the scroll unrolls, and as you like finish it and like snap it, your feathers just go and then nothing happens.
Is there any way that I could take this scroll and like walk across a bridge?
We don't have that many sessions left in the campaign. No, so as you finish unrolling it, you look it over, and it is actually a teleportation spell on the scroll.
Whoever would have guessed that she would have been trying to teleport again?
So yes, it is a 7th level teleportation spell scroll.
Can a wizard like learn a spell into their book that they're not at the level of, or would I have to wait until I'm that level?
I will have to get back to you on that. I don't know. I actually am not 100% sure on that.
That's fine.
During our next break, I have the spell scroll rules. I'll try and. Okay, go ahead.
And then I will also carefully look at the tube of paper.
You know what? Give me another sleight of hand check.
Now you legitimately need to use the card.
This is gonna be great.
That's not a bad, buddy.
You roll
you think
a
I should
1
waste it on
and
this?
you unroll it and it explodes. No.
A 10.
So, regardless of what happened with the spell scroll, you take even longer to unroll this smaller piece of paper. So this one is about 6 minutes. It's about half the size of the spell scroll, both length and width, but it takes you a couple extra minutes. As you unroll that, I had it and then I lost it. Wow. On this scroll, you see a long list of names. At the bottom, in large letters, you see Turtleback Fairy, and then there's a list of, in tiny, tiny but legible handwriting, there's a list of well over 150 names, front and back. And at the bottom it says Turtleback Fairy, and at the very top, it has a header that says those who have agreed to grant their greed, or those who have agreed to grant their greed to the master's need.
I'm getting some serious Santa Claus vibes here. Like, this is the list of naughty and nice. This is not how I thought this was going to end.
Do I notice the Bal's name on it as I scan it?
No.
Did we know the name of the bartender from that bar that had the tattoo?
The guy that had question is, did I write it down? Bottoms up.
Tilna Kennickson?
Bottoms up.
It's run by halflings.
Or Bartholomew Masterson?
No and no.
No.
Damn it!
Those are, I believe those were the names of the people who had gone to investigate Fort Rannoch and not returned. It was actually Yads Kesker was his name.
Would we have heard that name like enough that I'd be able to?
I do believe Yads was said. So, and you do see his name on the list.
Okay. And do I recognize any other names?
No. I know you did not get the names of very many people in Turtleback Ferry, or very many Black Arrow names. So you don't really have an internal list to run it against.
Okay.
That'd be a great opportunity for the twist. Is like, Tarnin Cap's good.
Bam, bam, bam.
Are the names like signatures? Like people signed this document, or they're just like she took?
They're all in the same scrawl, the same handwriting. Okay. It just looks more like a continuous list, a running list.
Are they all like consistently small, or does the thing happen where like you're writing one size and then realize that you're not going to have enough space, so you just procedurally get smaller and smaller and smaller?
The left-hand side of the list is really big, and the right-hand side is super tiny. No, they're all the same size.
Are there any like John Hancock names where they're just like really huge?
No, they're all a very similar size, and they are on the front. There are not any on the back. They're just the one side of it.
So Sean's sitting there going, like, how many times are they going to make me say they're all the fucking same?
I'm waiting for Lars to say, like, I'm going to read every name out loud.
How prepared were you?
That's what I was just going to say. Just, so we know.
So we make sure we don't miss anybody. Can you read off all 150 names to me? And go.
So how bored is Icky right now? You just watched someone unroll 2 pieces of paper.
Icky's kind of looking like he's sweating a little bit, honestly, because he knows what happens like with Geisen and Magic. So it's like.
So Geisen would be showing Icky and like explaining to him like what the spell was and stuff too. So he's not just like standing there staring at me.
And as long as his fingers aren't starting to get greasy, I'm cool.
All right. Well, I think I checked out basically everything in the room.
Yes.
Okay. Then I said to Icky, why don't we go up and get some fresh air ourselves?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So are you guys gonna, now that you've gone up, are you guys gonna do anything else while you're collecting the body parts, or are you just gonna kind of focus on that?
I'm really just kind of focusing on body parts. Like maybe, I don't know, keeping half an eye open if there's something shiny.
Maybe I'll say to Icky, do you want to go check out that Sahedrin?
Yeah.
So we'll head upstairs.
Okay. While they're heading upstairs, Tarnin, Grelda, Tanishi, anything you want to do or be doing?
Build a pyre. If Vale has convinced me that there's nothing worth acquiring and taking back to Ironbriar, or nothing that's going to lead to more people being hurt because this fort was lost, then yeah, I'll just keep helping as best I can, preparing to burn the whole place.
Okay.
I mean, not the whole place.
The whole pile?
The whole pile.
Alright, so then Icky and Geisen end up heading upstairs, and as you come up the stairs, you turn left, and the first door on your left opens up into the chapel. And on the far side, just above the diocese, you do see the Sahedrin painted on the wall in dried blood. And it's about 10-foot ceilings, and it's about an 8-foot Sahedron, so it takes up the vast majority of that western wall.
So I guess like Icky would kind of make his way up towards the Sahedron, but kind of like just take a light glance around on his way up, unless just if there are any big pieces that cause attention, he might investigate closer. But
not really big pieces. Outside of broken pews and broken seats, there's not much on the floor leading up to the altar that has the body pieces piled on it, and then the Sahedron is a couple of feet behind that on the wall, and then there's the antlers with bits of flesh and viscera kind of curled around them.
While I'm walking up, Geisen uses prestidigitation to kind of clean up the gore as he sees it.
On the walls while you're walking, or on the star on the other end?
No, on like the walls and the antlers and stuff, just as I'm going.
It cleans up gore. It won't get rid of like the strips of flesh or the viscera tied around it, but it will clean up the dried blood and the
so it's
other
gonna be
bits
really
that are
like neat and tidy strips of flesh.
Yes, they'll be very clean.
And then I guess I'll check out the altar since that's before the Sahedron.
All right. It is what you would expect from a normal altar to Desna. The outside has a series of butterfly kind of collages on it. The top is completely flat stone, and there is what you would guess to be about a dozen people body parts piled up on each other.
Man, those guys are taking their time. There's still this many body parts of them.
I mean,
The first floor is larger than the second floor.
Okay, so yeah, then I'll check out take a closer look at the Sahedron.
Like I said, you can tell that time was taken with this one. There's nothing special about it, other than the fact that all the other Sahedrons that were drawn in the fort were done quickly and sloppily, and this one had all the extra time taken.
Are there any details in it that seem different than what we've seen in other ones?
No, just like the lines and the edges and the corners and everything are very sharp.
Okay, well then I guess I'll use prestidigitation on that.
Okay. What is it, like a 1 foot square? Whatever it is. It takes a few times to get it all clean, but eventually, you look and the wall is back to its bare stone facade.
I guess I turn to Icky. Anything else you want to check out in here?
no, if this is this clearly seems of some significance, but let's go.
So yeah, I guess we'll head down to join the others in the courtyard.
Okay. All told, I will say it takes about 2 hours, 2 solid hours of walking around the fort to be able to pick up the vast majority of the body parts and pieces and pile them up together.
Oh, actually, while we're heading down, like, would I have seen everything well enough with Ollivander to be, pretty sure that I would have found anything with him, or,
You would have been fairly certain that, I mean, there might have been, like, you wouldn't have been able to read what was on a piece of paper laying on the floor, but you would have been able to see if there was a person or something that you feel would catch your eye.
or like items or like a container to look in, that kind of thing. Ollivander would have caught that. There
are On both the first and the second floor, there are like barrack-style rooms and about a dozen single rooms. I would say that in the time that Ollivander went up there, he didn't like go in room by room and start picking through them.
Did it look like those rooms were used by like the ogres or the snake lady?
As you even as you're walking around, you can see that not many beds or chairs were left whole. Most of them were smashed and destroyed and strewn about in one fashion or another. All right. If there's nothing else, then about 2 hours after you start, you have collected the vast majority of the body parts. And while Vale does look, I don't want to say sprier, he's been moving better since he's gotten up and started walking, but his face looks haunted.
Okay, so as we're standing there, I come up next to Vale and I kind of lean in. Do you have any words? If not,
I don't know if there are any words that can. May Desna take their souls into her bosom, and may they be reborn better.
Tarnan walks up and lights the pyre. Multiple uses of prestidigitation. What's the matter?
Oh, I thought I heard footsteps coming down the stairs. I didn't know if it was Olivia or not. Okay.
Multiple uses of prestidigitation to start lighting little fires all the way around it. And once it's lit, he kind of stands back and looks a little sheepish, but raises his hands up kind of like this and says, lift them up above this, the flames and the ashes. Lift them up and help them to soar away on wings of flame. Lift them up above this, the broken, the empty. Lift them up and help them to soar away.
As Tarnan finishes speaking, there are a few dozen smaller flames that are starting to come together, and as Tarnan finishes speaking, all the fires blaze up, and it goes from a couple of foot flames each one to just a roaring inferno that shoots 40, 50, 60 feet in the sky. And it blazes intensely for a good 15 minutes. And after that, as the flames start to come down, you notice that the flames keep going down. And there is just a small, a very thin, like a surface of ashes on the bottom where all the body parts were. Bones, clothes, metal, nothing is left, just ashes. And then the fire kind of dies out.
Mentally, I thank Obi.
Grelda would like to do probably insight and see whether or not Chief thinks that it would be safe to give alcohol to Vale.
Give me a medicine check.
Medicine check.
If you're seeing if it's like physically safe for him.
Okay.
Oh my god, I can help with that.
Well, she hasn't said that she's saying it out loud. She's kind of
and I wouldn't, because I wouldn't want him to weigh in on it, I guess.
Sorry, that's just like, holy crap.
I can help.
Something.
Hey, 18.
18? You know from your vast experience with alcohol and with people taking alcohol at all different times of the day and of their lives and of different conditions that he could have some and be fine. Probably shouldn't have an exceedingly large amount, but some at this point is not going to negatively affect him too much.
All right. Do I have something that I can use as like a cup?
I don't know. Do you?
It would have to be something that's in your like normal pack of like I've got brewer's supplies.
I would say, if you have brewer supplies, I would say you have something. Whether it's like somebody's got a bourbon bowl that they can use. But you would have a little. You would have a little, like a little wooden cup, if nothing else. So I would say you would have something you could give him.
So then I would pour him the first, hand it to him, and then I would pass the remaining to the rest of the team.
All right. He just kind of looks at it, nods to you, holds it up, and just, to the Black Arrows, may this not be the end of them. And then takes a drink. And then as everybody ends up taking their drinks and Vale's kind of looking down, you all hear and feel you hear an explosion, and everybody feels the ground shake. The explosion is not near; it's coming from far off, but it just it echoes and rolls through the side of the mountain and just echoes off of it, and you can feel the ground shake for a good few seconds, and then comes still.
If I send Ollivander up into the air, does he see anything?
What direction?
That's if you send Ollivander straight up to the northeast. Actually, give me a perception check before I start talking.
To whom
You almost got away with it.
That would have been a good one, Bill. I gotta say, I kind of like seeing everybody's rolls. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's cool.
At 12.
12? So from the northeast, Ollivander does see smoke rising from where the sorry, that's not so good, Icky. Okay, I need to close that. That's distracting. From where the dam is, and even in the fading light of the evening, from that height, he can see that the river that you crossed and camped beside is significantly larger than it was.
And Ollivander will be able to deduce that where there's smoke, there's fire.
Well, you might. Ollivander is a familiar and can't deduce shit.
Hey, don't you talk about Ollivander like that.
Oh, I didn't say he was not awesome.
He's very intelligent.
No, you fucking implied some shit right there.
He has his own perception check, so he has some sort of deduction that is his own.
He sees. Those are senses, not deductions.
So yeah, I relate to the group, but it looks like somebody just blew up the dam.
Well, damn.
And as you say that out loud, Vale actually, he stops and his eyes go wide and he looks at everybody. Turtleback Ferry. The river, it goes right beside it.
So what do you say we guys head to Turtleback Ferry to see if everybody's okay?
Should
I
we
think
send?
talk about it for a couple hours first.
Should he ahead? I mean,
Icky, can you outfly a river?
I'm happy to try.
Damn it. Okay, so Tarna casts Long Strider on Icky. And who's the slowest one of the party usually? Geisen?
Yeah, probably.
I've got 30, so it's either me or Geisen. I think we're about the same.
Geisen uses 25 or what?
Let me check. I think so. Yes, 25.
So cute.
Okay, so Icky, Geisen, and what's Grelda's?
35. I have a bonus from something. Otherwise, I would.
Okay, perfect. So Icky, Geisen, and Sinichi all get plus 10 for an hour. Plus 10 movement per round for an hour.
Okay. Sorry, hold on a second. Now you're making me fucking do math.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to actually be prepared for spellcasting. And
Yes, how dare I not know? Well, I'm looking up how fast Flash Floodwater moves. So, thanks for that.
Hey Siri, what is the average speed of flash floods?
9 feet per second, which a round is 6 seconds. So,
Is it an African flash flood?
the European flash flood. You know what? We're going to take a 5-minute break. And I'm going to get something to drink, and I'm going to figure this out. It's 9 feet per second. There's 6 seconds in a round. That is 54 feet per round. So the floodwater speed is 54 feet. As compared to what your speed would be.
So even if Icky could make it, what's he going to do?
All right. While I keep figuring this out in my head, we're going to take 5. All right, we'll round that number. Okay, so Icky, if after the spell is cast, you immediately head straight for Turtleback Ferry without stopping, going your max speed the entire time. How long does the spell last?
1 hour.
All right, so you are not going to be able to maintain that faster speed the entire time. So
Really? Damn it.
Well, it's about 12 miles, so it is going to take you a couple. Even going fast, it's going to take you a couple hours to get there. Okay, so it's not exact because things change.
Hey, Sean?
Yes.
I mean, is it apparently, for some reason I thought we were closer to town than this. Is it like apparent, is it obvious that there's no way, having seen how fast Icky flies and having seen how fast a river moves, in my brain, in Tarna's brain, from where he's standing and where he knows that dam is roughly, if it's obvious, there's no way Icky's going to make it there in time.
The dam is 5 miles further away than from Turtleback Ferry than you are.
Okay.
So, and Tarnan's making a split-second decision, so that's kind of up to you. Because you wouldn't have time to do like the math and stuff like that, so you just have to tell me, knowing that the dam is 5 miles away, you would...
That's why I'm asking, is it obvious? Or should I make a roll that he can... is that like an insight... snap decision?
If it's a snap decision, you can give me an intelligence check at, I'll say, disadvantage. Because if you're going to make a snap decision without having time to really weigh all the options.
I'm not weighing all the options. It's oh crap, can Icky get there? Does it seem realistic from where we are? What he does know.
Yep.
Doing that. How many miles is it between us and Turtleback Ferry?
About 12. And the
12,
dam is about 5 miles further upriver.
Okay. So I will say that Qualis Feather Token has a move speed of 16 miles an hour. So that's faster than Icky. And it can carry up to 500 pounds.
So that seems like that might be...
Okay, so Garnet's going to make another snap decision and cancel a spell in the middle of casting it and say, Icky, go ahead and use it, because Icky came up with this idea and it sounds really good. And what's 500 pounds can we throw on there? Frick.
It has a total of 500 pounds?
It can carry up to 500 pounds while flying at its maximum speed. Or 1,000 pounds at half that speed.
I'm staying on the ground. Fuck that flight thing. Nope.
Is there any way of using the feather token to try and dam the water before it reaches? If it can carry that much, that's a lot.
I do not believe that bird would be able to be used in that manner, at least effectively.
Sonichi, you have the fort. Keep Vale safe. We'll be back as soon as possible.
Aye, sir.
All right, Icky throws Qual's feather token up into the air, and an enormous multicolored bird takes its place as the token disappears.
Another one?
This one is physically enormous rather than having an enormous ego.
Seems legit.
Is it like so? Icky gestures like, "Everybody, get on it now!"
All right, so yes, you throw the feather up in the air, and it hovers for a second, spins quickly in the courtyard, and the bird just blinks into existence. And actually, the bird ends up landing right on the ash, and just this huge, just gorgeous-looking creature pops into existence.
Or whether that's disrespectful or fucking awesome. At least Vale and I can sit here and talk that out.
All right, so Icky jumps on.
Tarn's on.
Okay.
Trying to help Jason up.
I guess it gets on too.
Zelda gets on, but underneath her breath, if anyone is listening, she's muttering something about like dwarves keeping their feet on the ground, and this is nonsense, and families.
Flies a dwarf.
Hold on. Perception to see if I heard her.
If she's muttering?
Yeah. Total of 20.
Oh, you probably heard her.
You want to stay?
No, I'm on the bird.
All right, so if everyone but Sanishi and Vale are on, and Icky just there's a bird like, all right, to Turtleback Ferry as fast as you can.
Good luck racing the river. Have fun.
Thanks for going to the castle.
All right, hold on a second.
And I have marked the charge off on my token, my special thing.
Does anybody have a Holocaust cloak?
We'll never see this. Wow.
Never see it again. All right, so everybody climbs on, grab on, and the bird takes off. And none of you have ever traveled this fast. You are easily a couple hundred feet in the air, and the trees are moving under you at such a speed that they're blurring. You can turn around and you can see, as you immediately take off, even from this distance, you can see that the dam is not gone, but to one side there is a deep opening that you see the water coming through. And you see that it has the river has easily doubled in size, and you can see this giant wall of water racing down. But as the bird begins to fly, you keep putting more and more distance between yourself and the water, and it does take that full hour. But after an hour, yes.
At some point, safe to do so, Icky would totally release from the bird and just kind of fly in its stream to be able to experience flying that fast under his own power, and then quickly cling back onto it and just be like,
"This is the best thing ever."
Grelda's muttering continues.
2 or 3 times on the way there.
How can we tell from here an estimate of how big this crack or whatever it is in the dome or the dam is?
Why doesn't everybody on the bird give me a perception check? And I would say disadvantage because you're moving so fast, but you're also very high in the air. So I'll just say a straight perception check. All right. Icky.
18.
Tarnan.
12.
Grelda.
11.
11. And Geisen.
19.
19. All right. Icky and Geisen, you can both see that on as you turn back and look at the dam on the eastern side, it takes up about a quarter of the dam on that side, and it goes about a quarter of the way down. So it's not an exceedingly the hole doesn't take up too much of the overall dam, but given that the dam is easily 400 or 500 feet high, even that much of an opening lets out an extremely large amount of water. Let me double check on the height of the dam before I lie to you.
Holy crap.
Let me make sure.
Any other math we can make Sean do?
What was that?
Is there any other math that we can make Sean do?
Well, honestly, I'm more thinking that like Jenny should probably watch this session to get some like good word problems for her students, and show them the real life examples of why the shit matters.
Yeah, right. Y'all think you're nerds?
You ain't know nothing about nerds.
You notice the average bear's
Engineering back then. This dam is 500 feet tall. That's impressive. Hoover Dam is only 700 feet tall. That thing is impressive. I'm kind of concerned. Maybe we don't want to be in the line of this water. The rest of that dam goes, we're done.
How tall is it?
Sean's first estimate was 500 feet tall for the dam that just broke, and Hoover Dam is 725. It's 2/3 of Hoover Dam. That's a lot of freaking water behind that.
Hoover's so cool. Driving around, like driving up Hoover Dam and around to like in the middle of the night to see that layout view of Vegas is like the most breathtaking
Not the stairs.
man-made view I've like ever seen.
I haven't seen it at night, only during the day.
Oh, you should do it at night. It's stunning. I mean, it's cool during the day too, but like just I don't know. The layout of Vegas at night from that height is something else. And they light the dam pretty cool.
I'm gonna go with 450 feet tall.
Damn.
And like I said, about a quarter of the way down, and half of the half wide, and a quarter of the way down. So it's 100 feet by 150 feet. And it is a wider dam than it is tall. It is a very long dam as well.
So as wait, never mind. Turner failed this check. He didn't see that.
No, Icky and Geisen both saw it. All right. Anything else on the hour? So you guys it is an hour flight. You guys are moving extremely quickly, and you are outrunning the water by a significant margin.
Okay, how are we going to do this when we get there?
What was that? I'm sorry?
Suggestions.
Yeah, so after communicating the status of the dam breach to everybody.
Oh, you did do that? Okay,
yeah.
So now Turner's like, whoa. Do we really want to be in front of all this water? I mean, I want to save the people too. But what if someone else is still at the dam below on the other side? Oh, crap, too late now, I guess.
Wait, did the bird go away? How long does the bird spell last?
The bird.
It's 144 miles per day with a 1 hour rest. The bird disappears after flying its maximum distance for a day, or if it drops to 0 hit points.
Oh, so it's still around. That's
Yep.
good. So
Well, yeah, and you guys are still on the hour flight. Like this conversation is taking place while you're still on your way.
Some serious wind going through for them to have a conversation.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely shouting to be heard over the wind. Guys,
Wait, don't you have like that?
Tarnan and I have message as a spell, though, cantrip, so we could be kind of communicating with each other and sort of with everybody else.
I think that we should spend the next 5 minutes figuring out the logistics of how we're going to have a 2-minute conversation.
hey, we got like an
So
hour.
just how fast can somebody be going and still have a conversation, Sean? And how...
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that while I look at my book. So you guys...
Nathan decides as long as we have this hour that he's going to read the list of names.
Yeah.
So he reads the list of names to Tarnan.
And Tarnan is impressed.
Is that what you're actually spending all your message spells on?
I'm going to guess no.
Okay.
All right, so it's like, look, so reasonably, like, we can only, like, there are only so many people we can ferry to safety on this thing. So, like, we need to be, like I can fly over the city telling people to go or to rally to a certain spot.
Forget rally, but what if we just get them up on the roofs? How high is that water going? It's only going to be like 10, 15 feet tall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have it? I mean, we were in that town. They had quite a few 2-story structures. If we get people up on top, as far away from the river as possible, do you think they'd be all right?
They also have a giant ferry that they
Yeah.
could potentially climb on. If that would be
That's going to be a lot of really rough water coming at
Yeah,
them.
if the wave doesn't capsize it first thing.
Yeah, getting folks off the water is probably a priority.
Let's start there. We'll start right along the river.
Yeah, because like I said, I can take off and give people directions to where they need to go to meet up.
As high up as they can get. I mean, from what you guys saw, because I didn't see it, but from what you guys remember seeing, is it wiping the trees out that are near it? That wave is going to have to lose some of its strength, right? By the time it gets there, do you think trees are going to hold it up? Will a building survive it?
I could make a perception check or something.
Well, you already made a perception check as you saw it coming. I would say that your concern would not necessarily be the height of the water so much as the force of the water because of its speed. That it might not lap over a 2 or 3 story building, but you're unsure on the force that it would hit a wooden building if that building would survive.
So I'll ask Icky again, and maybe the DM can help him answer. Was it already wiping out trees, or are trees at least slowing down the wave, taking some of that energy?
It was expanding from the river itself, and there were spots where there were trees right next to the river line, and they seemed to be knocking over, maybe not all of them, but a significant amount of them.
Okay, so we're assuming that this wave, after 12 miles, is not going to have lost enough energy that trees are going to get knocked out. Screw it. How if you're fast, run away from the river, get high. If you're slow, get on top of a building and pray. Is that our best bet? Is that our best message to the people?
How many people are in Turtleback Ferry?
Well,
do we have an estimate?
A little over 400.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And do we have a notion of how far in advance, like how much time we have once we arrive before the
I would say, okay. So, and this is where my math came in. Let's. Hold on. I didn't finish it. You are going to have at least 45 minutes. if not more. While you're talking, I will double check my math, but at least 45 minutes.
So it seems to me that the most effective way to save the most people are to get people to a rally point, or to folks who won't be able to get out on their own or get to safe ground, where we can use this rock, this bird, to get people to safety. If we've got like a half hour to do that.
Is there high ground? Like, are there mountains or tall hills?
Not in this direction. Not in this direction. Yeah. The mountains were where you're like coming from, and you're going to more a flat ground that heads out onto water.
So we have to ferry the people to somewhere that's going to be safe, right?
Or again,
okay?
Tall. I mean, even the wave takes out a couple of buildings. It's not going to plow through all of them. Buildings
because the building, when it plows through one building, it's going to have that building in the water pushing into the next one, probably, right? Along with the trees that it washed down, like it's.
If you've got a better suggestion, I'd love to hear it.
I mean, I just was hoping there would be like a hill or some natural high point, but it doesn't sound like.
I think the closest we got to any hills are the buildings in the background. The farther away from the river, the better.
Is there
a clump of trees that you could just fireball into the river? And fireball can be a solution to this problem?
Okay, what were you saying, Tammy?
I want to explore this fireball idea personally.
Here we go.
I was gonna ask our spellcasters, is there like a make voice loud now spell that you can use for giving this message, or we would have to like go from door to door?
Is that prestidigitation? I would have to check.
Yeah, prestidigitation is probably the closest I got to it.
Cool.
Puff of sparks, puff of wind, musical notes, odd odor.
And yeah, I think this map is going to give you the best look at distances and locations.
Harmless sensory effect could be a loud voice.
And is Skulls crossing the dam?
Yes.
Yeah, so just having people retreat eastern, like to the inland, and then ferrying the people who are furthest west to safety seems like the best bet to me.
The slowest ones will ferry. Okay, let's go with that. Forget the buildings. They'll have half an hour to run. Hopefully that's enough.
Do we think that folks will be ready enough to listen to a flying bird and a bunch of crazies on an even bigger flying bird?
Sounds like that you talked to the mayor.
What else are we gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, like, so do we? So do we want to just roll right into town, being like, "Hey, everybody, this is come and get out," or do we want to like try to head to somebody who might be able to get the word out and help organize people in a very short amount of time?
What about that weird priest guy?
I was gonna say, can we do both? I mean, you have to control the bird. Can guys control the bird? Can
I don't know.
Icky controls the bird. It says the bird obeys your simple commands.
Okay.
Simple.
then get me low to the ground. I'll roll off and try to talk to the priest and try to get people moving. If you've got to be on the bird to keep directing it, great. Geisen, you've got prestidigitation, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe you can use the loud voice thing to help out. Grelda?
Yeah, I could come with you. I could talk to the priest, and if he doesn't listen, then I could use suggestion on him and force him to cooperate. I don't know. I don't know if the priest is going to be that much more efficient at getting everybody, but they might be more likely to listen to him.
Okay, so either you go or I go, but not both of us. One of us with prestidigitation should stay on the bird and try to yell the people to safety. Do you want to go after him, or should I go after him since I've talked to him before? It's up to you. Your call on this one.
I'm just looking for what's the voice thing with prestidigitation? I'm not seeing it in here.
It's not in there. It says a harmless sensory effect. Okay, so I would imagine that a loud voice is not hurting anyone, and if the DM allows it, let's try it right now. I use prestidigitation to try to make my voice very loud.
The harmless sensory effect, that's the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
It says a shower of sparks, puff of wind, faint musical notes. I don't think you could do your voice. I think you could do sounds.
If
But
it's
I don't-
going to do musical notes, can I just amplify my voice?
I'm going
I'll
to say
try.
no. I'm going to say no.
Do either of you have minor illusion or thaumaturgy?
Thaumaturgy, that's what I was thinking of. Thaumaturgy is the one that allows you to amplify your voice. Thank you.
Minor illusion might work too.
I don't.
I think minor illusion good.
Girl, the mumbling under her breath says, well, why don't you just freaking use minor illusion? What?
Grelda definitely does not do that.
Does anybody have minor illusion?
Grelda is still saying this is unnatural, it's not okay. Like, she has no idea where you are at all.
I need to pill Tychus really quick, but I can still hear, and you'll be able to hear me. I just won't be able to see, and I'll be wrangling a cat.
Wrangling.
They're really good at it. Discussion continue. I'm not part of it, so I can't really.
Is that a magic spell that you
Yeah,
use?
you're doing amazing sitting there and not contributing when I'm
Thank you.
sure you've got ideas that you want to contribute. So kudos, hats off to you.
Well, I will say, you guys have about 40 minutes of real-time flight left if you want to use the rest of your hour.
I don't want to use the whole 40 minutes. I'm just trying to come up with a way to do this that's going to...
It must have been one of our other campaigns that somebody had thaumaturgy. So I know
Must have been.
somebody has had that at some point. But...
Nate says it was him.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I honestly okay. So this is like, this is a place at the base of a dam. So logically, it is possible that they have this, that the town themselves have some type of plan in place in the event the dam fails. Not, I mean, that would really only happen if it had failed before, but that's a possibility. Going to the mayor is probably the most logical person. Like the mayor and the barkeep, the two people we've talked to, you guys go to them, tell them the problem. They'll probably be able to get the people out the best, most efficiently. Just a thought. Back to not being here.
I'm inclined to agree. And the mayor type person was the priest.
Yes.
I said barkeep.
No.
Guys, can you come up with an idea yet? Or are you going to jump off and charm this guy, or am I going to talk to him?
I'm thinking.
I mean, we can always try to scare the hell out of the townspeople, scare them away from the bird, but then we can't use them to ferry.
Hey, fireball solves all the problems.
Yep.
No.
Hey, if we burn them to a crisp, they can't drown.
You know, that is factually correct. Technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
I don't know, I'm trying to see if there's any, like, large flying creature that I could polymorph somebody into that could carry more people, but I'm not finding anything so far.
A mammoth. Hello.
Flying creature?
Oh.
You could polymorph one of us into Steven Tyler, and then they could probably project. Everybody would hear the message. Be compelled to do a thing.
I think Steven Tyler is a level above what he can currently polymorph people into.
Yeah. The challenge rating of Steven Tyler is far, far above.
Hey,
Guys,
I know. I can turn somebody into a giant whale, and then they can just climb onto the giant whale as the water comes down.
Everybody jump into the whale's mouth.
Just get into Will's belly.
Oh my god, that could work. That could work.
Only if there's also a pot of petunias.
Okay, now you got to convince people to get in the whale in less than half an hour.
All right, all 430 of you in the whale. Go.
We are going to blend Noah's Ark and Pinocchio right now.
Actually, okay, let's consider this whale idea for a moment.
I'm honestly kind of on board with it.
What if the whale is like blocking some of the water? Like, can the whale serve as like a break?
That's where I was going with the whale idea.
Yeah, use the whale as a dog. I get it. I get it. Oh no, not again. It makes sense.
Sean's thinking about it. I can see you thinking about it.
You can certainly try.
No way. The water will go around it. Come on.
So I do have the ability to make a 100 by 100 foot wall that the water wouldn't be able to pass through, but only for 10 minutes. And I don't know if there's a place that would make sense that would help.
The hole in the dam would have made
Which
sense.
spell is that?
Wall of Force. Well, that's what I was asking, what the size of the hole in the dam was, but it seemed like it was too big. Plus, it's only for 10 minutes, so I don't know. There's already probably enough water heading for the village or the town to destroy it. It's the one I just got.
Hemispheric dome or sphere with a radius of up to 10 feet.
Or you can shape a flat surface made up to 10 foot by 10 foot panels.
Oh.
So that would be a 100 by 100 foot wall.
10 by 10. Shape a flat surface. Must be. The wall is a quarter of an inch thick. Less than it cuts through.
Okay, so right now, what I'm leaning towards, and chipping again afterwards, is I think is either Geisen or myself gets dropped off, convince the mayor / priest to start helping get people moving, ferry as many as we can with the rock. Geisen, if you want to use that wall of whatever to make like a water break to protect those buildings, then we could put them up on those buildings again.
But it's only for 10 minutes. But that might give us a little time to ferry people off.
The water's still gonna, it gives us 10 more minutes, but it also what it does is that water break is gonna not stop the water, but slow it down and take the force out of it. The water's gonna go around it and slowly build up to a higher level. And by that point, that just keeps the buildings intact. It doesn't prevent the water from getting to the buildings. It keeps the buildings intact, and that's about it. It takes the hit out of the water. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I mean, especially, I don't know how spread out the town is. If we have people head for a specific building or a couple of buildings that are in the same area or something.
As far away from the water as we can to start with. And that's where the rally point will be from Icky's idea to start ferrying them.
Yeah, I like that.
Grelda can be on the ground, helping people get on the rock, keeping people calm, people start getting out of control because they're out of riot, you're basically our riot force, our counter riot force. I'll handle the mayor. You guys can put the spell in place. I think that's what we got.
I think that's probably the best we can do.
It's really too bad we don't have Sinisha here. I could really use her to scare people off right now.
And
We have
the hair on the back of Sinishi's neck like pricks up, and she just looks around, and gets a shiver.
The rest of us are probably going to die in this water, and Sneeshi will be the last one left of the party.
That's okay. Someone to carry on the story. We'll be fine.
Her and Val are going to start all their own new adventures.
Screw that. I'm going to live. In fact, I'm going to make sure most of you live too. Icky, you might have to fly yourself, but the rest of you guys I might be able to do something for.
See what I can do.
Fair. All right. Sean, let's flash forward. I think we're going to try this plan.
All right. Nate, can you close that pop-up? Because I have put the Turtleback Ferry map.
Oh, so you did.
The top right close. There you
Little
go.
opera-isky.
All right. So an hour, you reach, it was kind of dusk before. I will say you reach Turtleback Ferry, let's say about 8 o'clock in the evening.
Okay, now that I have this map, I remember most of this town in the southwest side, correct? Because that's pretty much where we came in.
You came in from the south. The large building on the southwest corner was the church. And then the only other place you guys went was here. And that's the tavern.
Is that a stone? Is the church like a strong stone building?
Yes, the church was made of stone. The church is the only building in the town that is not made of wood.
So there's a chance that the church could survive the water.
But now we're putting everyone right back to the edge of the water.
Right on the coastline.
But if it's on the coastline, isn't the water then going to immediately go into the other water? Like,
Yeah.
No, because dam broken. It'll be the initial force won't be constant, but it'll still be a heightened water level, particularly around the beaches.
Sean, what dock did we come in on?
The south one.
Okay.
Those docks.
So we passed the ones that are like one block up and east of the docks to the south. I can't ping the map right to show you what I'm talking about.
These ones?
Nope. Go much more east.
Oh, like these buildings?
Yes.
No, because you went
Okay.
north out of town.
Okay.
Because where that is located, you go north, and then it's northeast is where the path along the river went. So you kind of saw them, but I wouldn't say you passed by them.
From what I kind of saw, are they 2-story buildings or 1-story buildings?
The more smaller individual ones are 1-story buildings. The larger ones are kind of a mix of like ranch homes and 2-story.
Because my thinking is that we use those 2-story as our rally point because all those other wooden buildings might stop some of the water, and Geison's wall of force will definitely stop a hell of a lot more. Thoughts on that, or the church?
I prefer the church, except that it's the furthest away from most of the people.
Exactly.
So yeah, maybe we should go with those buildings. I mean, how big in like distance is Turtleback Ferry? Like outskirts of the buildings to the church, how far would that be?
I'm actually okay. So this is 200. That's 100. We will say that. Can you? No. Oh, there we go. Oh, seriously?
You know what, guys? And I'm going more and more.
There you go. There you go. That line is
Are you
that
guys
line
seeing
is
the
100
pages
feet.
on the lines and stuff? Because I don't see anything.
What was that?
Yeah, did a line.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, now I see it. Okay.
Oh,
Now it's gone.
yep. That's because.
It's all right.
Back. Delete. Stop.
All right, so those buildings probably don't have an easy way up on the roof. You might be right, guys, and we might have to try to get everyone to the church because at least that belfry, that tower, has got to have an access up to it, which means that people could get up there to get picked up by the rock.
And even if we don't get everybody with the ferry, there's a chance that the church is going to survive. We don't really know.
Okay, let's go with that.
Than those wood buildings.
Let's go with that. Let's try to get everyone to the church. You're gonna set up. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna task you double duty. You're gonna talk to the mayor and tell him what's coming his way. You're gonna be ready to set up that. You're gonna get to the roof, so I don't have to wonder where the hell you went. And you're gonna set up that wall of force. Icky's gonna get the rock to circle around and try to get everyone running towards the church for shelter, and then they'll get ferried off. Grell does our ground control and start. I mean, she's loud. I'm sure she and Sasha can convince quite a few people to go up on the roof. I want you to drop me before that towards the north part of town, and I will start yelling the message as well that the dam is broke, and I will work my way southeast, and then run for the church, at least giving everyone a chance to hear me yelling.
You said it's like 8 at night?
It's 8 at night. It is dark out by the time you get to town.
It sucks. Do we have would I have an idea of, I don't know, do priests tend to live in the churches that they work in?
It depends. That's the best answer I can give you.
Did you ask Tarnan?
I asked Tynan.
Tarnan says he had personal chambers and quarters in the church.
Okay.
I mean, he lives there, but he had personal quarters there.
Okay. So there's a decent chance that he'll be there.
It's the only stone building there. That's what we got. That's what we're going to try. Good luck, everyone. Icky, take us in.
All right.
All right. So what's as you descend into the town? It is rather quiet. You see lights on in some of the buildings, especially the tavern. There's you see lights shining through the windows of the church and a smattering of the houses. Some are dark and some you can tell have their lamps going. All right. So where are you going to start?
So we head on to the church first, right?
After we drop Tynan off.
Thank you. Drop me off towards the north side of town so I can start yelling right away.
All right.
And I will use my acrobatics roll to get off of that bird quickly and not make him land or waste time.
Okay.
Do you want an acrobatics roll?
Nah.
I mean, I'll click it anyway, see what happens.
You absolutely can. 12. Oh, Tarnik breaks his ankle.
I'm good with that. I have a solution to that too.
Ready.
No. Tarnin tucks, rolls, pops up.
And starts his yelling campaign.
Sticks the landing.
Basically, Sean, what he's going to yell is, the dam is broke, the water is coming, get to the church, get to the high levels of the church. The dam is broke, water is coming, get to the church. Knocking on doors, kicking things down, making a noise.
I will say,
Persuasion
give me
check?
either a persuasion or an intimidation.
I want to persuade.
Okay. Then give me a... Wait, before you roll.
Don't look then.
I'm not. Okay. What'd you roll? 21? Oh, man. Okay. So, as you're running around, it only takes until your second or third yell before doors start to open and people start to peek their head out. And as soon as you articulate what the issue is, what's going on, you can tell from the faces of the people that are popping their head out that they're already uneasy. And you get the sense that you weren't the only ones who felt the shaking and heard the noise. So as soon as you say that, they just leave their doors open and you see people just begin running out of their homes to the southwest towards the church.
Okay, cool.
How,
I continue and let the guys do their thing.
how loud is Fireball? Is the explosion from the Fireball, like, loud, or is it...
I would say loud.
like enough to wake a bunch of people up in a large area that are sleeping in their houses?
Most likely.
Set fire to their homes. Great way to get them out.
Burn them! Burn them! Well, I'm just wondering, there's that like huge open area in the middle of the town. I'm
Okay.
assuming there's like nothing there.
Nope, it is just a packed dirt area.
So I mean,
It's on top of the old dynamite mine.
And then the water came and we saved them all.
Thank God you brought the water. It was on fire.
So I guess Tarnin's gone, so I'll message to Icky and ask him, what do you think about launching a noisy fireball at that open area to wake people up? Get them out of their houses.
What would Icky say?
It would absolutely wake folks up. But I feel like people are already awake from the explosion. Granted, that was like an hour ago. Hey, it'll get people's attention.
All right. Well, do you want to have the bird stop there for a second so I can do that, and then we'll head to the church?
You don't even need it to stop. You can have it slow.
Yeah, I
if
was
you would
like,
like.
I think like a big fireworks display from the sky to the ground would get more attention.
Oh yeah. What the hell would happen if I launch a fireball up into the air and it explodes up there? Is that safe to the people below, or is that just going to rain down destruction on everybody?
No, there is absolutely nothing in the spell's description that speaks about the fireball lasting past its initial explosion, only if it catches things on fire. So just think of it as like it burns and then it's gone. So almost like a firework.
Okay. So when we're like flying over the center of the town, I launch a fireball up into the sky.
So you slow down, Tarnin drops off, starts doing his thing. And Tarnin, as you're yelling and banging on doors, 10 seconds later, just this gigantic red explosion in the air right over the center of town illuminates everything for a split second.
Fuck. Tarnin stops yelling and goes to investigate.
Well, you mean look, or is he walking towards the general? Because it was.
Let me ask you
I would
this
guess
way.
like 40, 60 feet in the air.
Having seen Geiss's particular brand of fireball, do I recognize this as something he caused or something else now firing at my birds?
Tarnin or Geisen said he did fireball as opposed to the different types of energy he had done in the past.
As long as it is loud, he would have done his sort of
Oh, yeah.
signature
Then
radiant.
you would have seen the bluish color of it as the same that you've had
Tarnan
before.
Pauses for 6 seconds to figure out what Geisen is doing, and then continues on his run. But if it was not something he recognized, Turner would immediately think that we are under attack, or the village is under attack, and go into stealth mode to find out what the hell's going on and start taking people out.
All right, so the fireball explodes into the sky, and what are you doing after that?
You're telling me that I recognize that it's Geisen's.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Fantastic. Then I pause for a second to understand what it was, and then continue on yelling, knocking on the door, getting people to the church.
All right, the rest of the people on the bird.
We continue to the church. Sorry,
one more question, Sean. I have magic mouth. How it doesn't? I'm not seeing in here where it would specify like how far away people would be able to hear it.
Recites the message in your voice at the same volume you spoke.
Oh, does it say that?
Yep.
Okay. So maybe that wouldn't be overly helpful. I was thinking I could put that in like the center of town and it would tell people to head to the church.
Well, if
I
people
guess I might
could,
as well just do that anyway. And sort of shout into it to make it as loud as I can, but probably not going to be able to make it that loud.
okay, what are you gonna put in it?
The dam is broken. Well, okay, what does it say for?
It actually, and it does take a full minute to cast.
Oh. Okay.
The casting time is a full minute. I'm not saying like you can. It just takes a minute.
I guess never mind. We're not going to wait around for a minute, probably.
All right. After the initial explosion, it seems to be, as you kind of look down, it seems to be 50-50. Some of the buildings, there are people kind of curiously looking outside, and some of them, the lights seem to have gone dark. As you make your way towards the church.
Making our way.
So I mentioned to Icky, like, okay, I'll get off at the church, and then I guess you fly around and try to give people the message that are hopefully coming out to investigate the explosion. And then I guess we meet back up here.
all right.
Grelda would also get off at the church and start continuing the ground, like knocking on doors and shouting at people, picking up stray cats and dogs, whatever.
Living together. Yeah. All right. So then
Here lies
Grelda and
She almost saved the
Tarnan
damn cat.
Grelda and Tarnan are trying to gather the townsfolk. Icky is staying on the bird.
Yep.
And Geisen is
Heading into the church to find the priest.
all right. Oh, go ahead.
Just for it matters, Grelda is not above using intimidation at this point. Like, she will scare people out of their homes.
Okay, I will remember that. Okay, as Geisen gets off the bird and heads towards the church, both doors of the front of the church are open, and Seston Orlandi, the mayor / preacher, is standing at the entrance, just like he's still looking into the sky where the fireball was, but you can also, like, as you walk up towards him, you can also see his eyes following this giant, like, majestic bird as it kind of makes its way over the sky of Turtleback Ferry.
And I can't remember, did Geisen meet this guy before? I guess, I don't think...
No,
Tarnan just met him, right?
Tarnan's the only one who went over to meet him.
I'm part of the group with Tarnan. The dam has been destroyed and a huge flood of water is on the way. We need you to help get as many people as possible into the church as quickly as possible before it gets here.
Did Did the bird have anything to do with the explosion with the water coming down? Because that bird is very, 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 very pretty, but it is very odd. I've never seen a bird like that over Turtleback Ferry before. And like I heard the noise, and then I saw the flame, and then like the bird's flying around. So did the bird have anything? Is the bird with you? Is the bird the cause of it? Do we need to hit the bird? Do I need to shoot the bird? Do I need to yell somebody to get it?
Geisen just casts suggestion and tells them to go alert everybody and get them to the church.
Is there a save for that?
Wisdom 17.
No. So, is it a bird? Do I need to get a bow and arrow to shoot the bird? Does the bird need to be shot down? That's a lot of arrows to... I need to get people to the church. And then he kind of starts to go along the way that Grelda was going. And you hear him, like, you see him, he's moving quickly, and you see him, like, grabbing people and pointing towards the church.
Okay, and then Geisen heads up the belfry onto the roof, assuming that's possible.
I would say that you can get up to a second story where the bells are. So yeah, I'd say you could get out there and you can see the town. Everybody else, the people of the town, whether it was because of the sound, the explosion earlier, the shaking, the fireball that exploded in the middle of the sky, a random giant bird that has a bird on top of it that is flying around yelling at people, you're yelling at people, the priest talking to people, you do not find it hard at all to convince people that something is happening and something is bad and they need to listen to you. So I will say you are able to get the majority of the people in the town, as far as you know, to be heading to the church within 20-25 minutes.
And now we set it on fire.
You have fallen into my trap. Fireball.
I guess Geisen really has kind of a lot of time, right? So I guess instead of heading up to the tower right away, I'll just run outside in front of the church a little ways, and then I'll take the time to cast the magic mouth.
How long does the magic... Oh, magic mouth? Okay. And what are you going to have it say?
25 words or less. Get into the church, head to the church, get up on the roof.
Okay. And then where are you putting it?
So heading northeast from the church, there's that line of buildings there. I'm assuming it wouldn't take me all that long to run over there and cast the spell, like kind of in the middle of that.
No, I don't think that would take very long, especially... I mean, there's nothing impeding you, so...
Okay, so I'll just do it there, just somewhere that people are likely to hear it as they get closer to the church. Okay.
Alright, I will say that about 35 minutes after you arrive into the town, everybody from the town is fairly tightly packed into the church. They're all talking, okay. They're all kind of freaked out, but they're there.
I hope we can make this building survive.
And then once Geisen's done doing that, he'd head back to the church, go up to the tower, and then kind of prepare to cast the wall thing when he sees the water coming.
Okay. That green line is approximately 100 feet. So where would you like your wall?
I guess in front of it's kind of centered on the church.
Can you turn it into an angle?
Not if it's that big.
Damn. It could be smaller and be angled.
Yes, but if he wants the full 100 feet, it needs to be flat.
Okay. He's the mage. I trust him.
You can shape a flat surface made up of 10 by 10 foot panels.
I mean, it could be wider
All right. So how tall do you want this?
Yeah. Instead of this, just bend it a
You can
little.
make it 50 feet and make it wider or something.
Because they're 10 by 10, so you can have 100 feet at 10 feet wide, or 10 feet tall. If you want it any taller than 10 feet, it's gonna shrink the length of it.
While he considers that, Grelda, despite, like, obviously trusting him, still goes to the front of the church, like, in front of everyone else, and stands there with Sasha as though she could potentially attack the water if it were to break through the wall.
Oh my God.
So are you still in the church, or are you standing in front of the church?
I am... Basically, if the church is completely packed with people, I am in front of the nearest person.
Okay.
Like, I'm trying to protect people.
So as your Geison's trying to figure this out, Seston Orlandi, the preacher, kind of walks up beside you. I really think everybody needs to be in the church. I really think you need to go inside of the church. I think it's important that you don't stand out here, but you get into the church. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but it means a lot to me that you are inside the church. So if you would come with me...
I love and hate that character so much.
In the church. That would be very important. So not outside. You're not safe out here. Everybody in the town needs to be in the church. I just have... I don't know if it's Desna or what, but I know deep in my soul that you need to be inside of this church. It's very important.
Without contradicting him, saying anything to him, or even looking at him, Grelda just backs up enough that she can be inside the church while still in that position.
And as soon as you step foot inside the church, you see him just relax. Okay, good. You're inside the church. Everybody's inside the church.
Well,
Is he inside the church?
Probably,
okay.
Wouldn't we direct people to close the giant doors and barricade them or something?
If you can.
I guess I'd do that while I'm figuring out this wall thing.
Yes, Tarn.
Everyone's in the church, so now Tarn can be there too?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I would say everybody who is here, Icky is the only person you have to tell me what you're going to be doing because you're still on the bird, but everybody else would be inside the church because as far as you know, you have gotten everybody from the town into the church.
Okay, yeah. No, because like if we're fairly confident that we've gotten everybody, the only other thing that Icky would be doing would be combing the town or perhaps the water to make sure everybody is in. Because if we're pretty sure that we've gotten everybody on land, I'd be checking the water to make sure there's no one out there that would get wrecked by a shit ton of water all of a sudden being where they are, and get them on the big bird. And bring them
You do actually see the fairies themselves, the turtle shell fairies, are actually across Clay Bottom Lake because they go back and forth, and you actually notice that all three of them are on the other, as you're flying around, they're on the other side, the other dock.
Did we want to have you shuttling people from the church roof to somewhere? I don't know where that somewhere would be.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
So maybe we should have you doing that right now.
Yeah, further. I would think further inland, where we don't think we'll be affected by high water.
Start doing that as soon as you can, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tarnin's around, right? So Geisen kind of confers with Tarnin. Any ideas on how tall this barrier needs to be?
When the
20
water was
feet?
coming,
Do you think that's
you guys
enough
saw
to
the water
block
better
the
than I
walls?
did. You saw the water better than I did. Can you tell me how tall that water was? Because I don't know. I didn't perceive it.
Can I tell him how tall the water was?
You're pretty sure that it was higher than 10 feet. You don't know how much higher than 10 feet it was, but from what you guys saw, I would say it would be over 10 feet.
So 20 feet, I would feel...
You would feel
confident
better.
that
You would
it's-
feel much better.
Okay. So I think I should make it 20 feet high so I can make it 50 feet wide. Is that right?
Yep. And then how far in front of the church would you end up wanting to put it?
Probably right in front of it, right? You think, Tony?
I agree. Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's not straight, but we'll go with that.
Well, the water's coming
Oops.
like north-south, more or less, right?
Ow. Stupid drawing tool. There we go.
Stupid technology, making things so difficult.
Okay. Let me... No, that's not the map. That's the map. This is the map. Alright, so it is following the river. So yeah. It would be coming from more straight north.
Yep, meet that water head on.
So you would probably put it in this direction. There you go. Okay, you can close that, Nate. And then it's the green.
That looks good.
That looks good.
Why don't we do...
But I haven't cast it yet, right?
I'm just showing. I'm just...
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to be clear.
Okay, so what direction are you ferrying people, Nate?
I would think that it would be safe just to ferry them to the east.
Okay. All right, then. You could get. Good Lord. It was 500 pounds, so I will say you can get. We'll call it 3 to 4 people on it at a time. How far away would you be taking them?
Oh man. There are no particularly tall land anythings.
No, it's fairly flat.
I mean, I don't honestly know that Icky would have a solid perception of how far would be needed to be safe, based on what he's seen so far. Although he is high up, can he make a guess?
You would have a pretty good idea. I mean, even half mile, a full mile away. I would say even a half mile. You would the direction the water's going.
Oh, all right. I'll take folks a half mile in then.
Okay, so we'll say 4 people, half mile. You would be able to get 4 people on a. We'll say it'll take 10 minutes round trip.
Right.
Wait, 16 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Half an hour is 8. 15 is 4. Actually, I would say it'd be about 5 minutes round trip.
Okay.
All right. So, as you start doing this, you have say about 10 minutes before you, Icky, see the water coming. So you're able to get, we'll estimate a good 50 people to this new location by the time you see the water bearing down on you.
Fuck. That's not enough people. How many people are still on the bottom floor of the church versus the top floor?
I mean, I would say 70-30 bottom top, because the top floor is smaller than the bottom. So if you did 50, you've got about 380 people in the church.
I start yelling out, are there any newborns or any young ones that can't swim?
I would say, I mean, I would allow you to have gotten them out first. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of women and small children first kind of thing.
So
what about elderly? What about infirm? They're next.
So
we still got 30 people on the bottom?
What was that?
Go ahead, Icky.
I'm just once we have what we know will be the last load of people before water hits, Icky would command the bird to go to the place that we've been dropping folks off, let everyone get off, and then to come back and wait.
Okay.
Assuming it still has time.
It does. It does.
But then Icky would stay to be where the action is.
Okay. All right, then. So everybody can hear as Icky kind of drops off. Everybody can hear the rushing of the water towards the town. Being up on top, Geisen, you can see it kind of, I don't want to say coming around the bend, but finally making its way through the trees, and you can tell. What was that?
Nothing. I want to be up on top near where Geisen is so I can kind of see this too. If I can get on the roof above it all, I'd love to be there.
I mean, if you would want to climb out and up on the bell tower, you can certainly give that a shot.
I'll do it.
All right.
And just as a point, we didn't actually say it, but if someone had communicated to me, and I assume Tarnan would have, that we should barricade the door, I would have barricaded the door and then gone back to my stand.
Duly noted. Pews shoved up against the door. Give me a acrobatics check.
Me?
No, Tarnan, for climbing up on the bell tower roof.
I was like, what am I doing
Can you
with
check
these
for
pews?
standing straight enough?
Give me a standing check.
Do you see it? 19.
19. All right. You do manage to get out, climb on the top, and you're kind of like you have your arms wrapped around like the symbol at the top.
Spire. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so you see it coming. Geisen, you know how much time you would need to cast that spell, so if you're planning on casting it, one action, yeah. I would say you see it coming. How close do you want to let the water get before you cast it?
I mean, I can cast it pretty much instantly, right?
One action, yeah, within 6 seconds.
Um,
So you would be able to pick the exact point at where the water is coming before you cast it.
I mean, I would want it to be as close as possible without risking it possibly hitting the church before I cast it.
All right, I'll say you cast it. The water is, yeah. So the water is rushing Tarnan and Geisen. You can see as it comes through the north side of the town, through the graveyard and through the houses. It is, even though it has been going for almost an hour, it is still destroying the houses that it hits. I would say 7 out of every 10 are just leveled as it comes down. Geisen casts Wall of Force, and just instantaneous, you and Tarnan can see the sheen of it off the candles and torches that are in the church. You can kind of see them gleaming off the back of it as it kind of wavers and then solidifies. And as it solidifies, the wall of water rushes and hits it and just comes up and like a little bit spills over the top, but most of it falls back on itself and just it rushes around the side. And the main force of it was stopped. And you can see the water around begin to rise as it kind of dissipates. And within 3 or 4 minutes of continuous pressure against it, it begins to lessen that initial flow. And it starts to go down. And the water ends up being, I will say, it slowly rises to about 3.5 feet above where it is now. And then it settles. So it is kind of, the water is coming in under the door of the church. It's not rushing, but it's a pretty continuous stream because of how high the water has risen. And then 5-10 minutes go by and everything just starts to calm.
As soon as the water looks like it's getting up high enough that I think that it's in the water, I'm going to message Grelda, who I last saw on the main floor. How's things going down there? You can respond to this message.
Every time you say you can respond to this message, I imagine you're like a phone answering machine.
It was very, very CV radio. Message over.
But you have to make the sound. One of your last word on the message is.
So this is literally the first time you have ever messaged Grelda, by the way. So
It is.
So is Grelda like God?
No, she would recognize.
Yeah, recognize
She would
Tarnan's
recognize Tarnan's voice, so she'd be like,
So, do I hear this in my head? Do I respond out loud, or do I respond in my head?
Either way, you hear it in your head. Well,
Let's say you are treated to a very brief and very intense study in the way that dwarves swear, followed by everything's great in like the angriest voice you've ever heard from her, and that's it.
Well, Tarnan thinks to himself, okay, she's alive and kicking. I'll just let it go. I need to take 30 seconds to say goodnight to Drake.
Okay.
You're welcome to continue describing the deluge or carry on with whatever anyone else needs. I'll be right back.
I will say there was a fairly. Let's see.
I mean, I am a little curious. How many other people here are aware that over half of the destruction of the tsunami is the water going back out?
Well, but there's no water going back out to sea, though. I didn't know that, but it's not really going to go back out to anywhere.
Yeah, I looked at the map and I'm like, I don't think I need to bring this up for the physics, but I'm just also kind of curious. Is this common knowledge, or is this one of those stupid random tidbits I've picked up over the course of my life?
Oh,
I
okay.
would say not common knowledge, no.
Okay. At least not outside of where tsunamis happen.
I always heard that the most dangerous part was when the Sharknadoes start up.
Wait, what? Sharknado?
I would say that is common knowledge because I knew that one. That one's definitely something I knew.
Yeah, I think the Sharknado is common knowledge.
I mean, honestly, any shark system of world government is threatening.
Sharknator.
It's not threatening to anybody.
That would be kind of awesome.
Did I miss anything besides the Sharknado?
Nope, not really.
Can you imagine the birds run by a shark?
All right, so I will say, let me do a quick drawing. As the water settles, the 3 feet of water covers this. Everything to the west is now under 3 feet of water.
Okay.
Does that mean Grelda is in water up to her shoulders?
It is currently coming into the church, so I would say it is up to your knees by now. Because the doors are closed and they're big, solid doors. There's not a whole lot of space, so it's not rushing in, but it is continuously flowing through the cracks.
I stand by my response to what I was asked.
So during this, I mean, there was 10 minutes where the wall was holding it at bay, and then while it's gradually coming in, we're still shuttling people to safety, right?
That's up to Icky.
That would be unless somebody suggested otherwise to him, he would be doing that until the water started to clearly be calming, and then would probably check in with everybody else to make sure that's what he should still be doing.
Yeah, as long as you can. If you've got more life in that bird, take everyone out of here. I mean, it's going to be soggy and wet in here, so at least get them out of there and they can make camp. That's a great thing. Now we got to figure out how to support these guys for a little bit.
Okay. You get at that current speed, you could get about 48. What was it? If there's, you get 4 people every 5 minutes. It's about 48 people an hour. So I mean, it's going to take a few hours to get everybody out of there.
Well, and it can
What was that?
It can only go 144 miles. I'm not sure how many it's traveled so far.
12 down, 1 around, so 13, and then if it's a half mile, 1, 2. So I mean, it could probably go for the rest of its day. So I would say we'll just round it out. I would say it'd take you, I'll just throw it there, 4 more hours if you wanted to shuttle everybody from the church.
So once things have clearly calmed down, I stop my current load, have the bird hang out, and ask just approach. I seek out Tarnin and whoever else is around, and just be like, so, do we want to check on the dam?
Absolutely, but we want to spend a few minutes, few hours, whatever, trying to figure out if these people have a place to go. You know what? Take another load. Let me ask the mayor a few things. I should have done this ahead of time. I apologize. Mayor.
Yeah. Yes. What can I help you with?
Now that we got most people on the way out of here, away from the water, is there any outlying building that didn't get crushed that you guys can start using as a base of operations to stay warm, feed you guys, clothe you guys? We've got other things to take care of.
Let's see. I will say water surge. Just drawing on everything. I would say that the buildings to the east of here were mostly untouched, and you can see that from the tower.
Okay.
So I mean, while you're standing in there, you can look out and see that there is a dozen buildings that are still standing and are not under 3 feet of water. So he kind of points. Right. Those should work, and the water doesn't look that deep. I mean, I don't want little children walking through it, but I could probably walk out there and it'll only go up to my knees or maybe my waist. I mean, that shouldn't be bad. I should be able to wade my way through, and it doesn't really look like it's moving. So, I mean, I could start opening the doors, and we could start walking people over there. And we would all be wet, which is a shame, but I mean, there are worse things that could happen. At least we survived. Thank Desna that we survived because of you. That was fantastic. You all are wonderful. I think it's a good idea. I think we should start moving people. You're a genius. You all are wonderful. All right, people. And then he starts walking around and telling Grelda to open the door.
Can Grelda see Tarnin from here?
I'm sure.
Grelda, having received a command from the jitteriest person she has ever met, she does look at Tarnin. What expression does Tarnin have on his face?
Please, for the love of God, let him go.
She immediately begins unblocking the door. From the side, because expecting more water to come through and not wanting to get unceremoniously dumped on her backside.
Thank you, my lady. You're always so good at listening. You came in when you were supposed to. You're opening the door when you're supposed to. Oh, you're so helpful. All right. Everybody stand back. And then you open the door, and some water does rush in, and it does go up to people's waists, and people are holding up children that wouldn't be able to walk in it. But it doesn't go past most people's belly buttons. So then people start making their way.
Oh, so yes. About shoulder height on Grelda.
Oh yes, Grelda's like this.
Yeah, just a thought. Whenever we catch up with the guy that killed Tarnin's wife, rather than just murder him, we should just lock him in a room with this mayor guy for a while.
So as the doors open, people begin to make their way out and begin to wade through the water until they reach the center of town, where it is mostly just churned up mud, and then past the ruined buildings towards the whole buildings.
Is anybody else getting tired?
Yep, I was actually going to say that was going to be my next comment. This is a perfect place to stop now that the town has been saved, and the handful of save the townsfolk who are drowning that I had prepared doesn't need to happen.
I find Geist and I shake his hand and slap him on the shoulder. Excellent job. Well done.
Can I share what Sanishi has been up to for this time period?
Yes. What has Sanishi and Vale been up to?
Writing, composing.
Excellent.
Mountain shook, rock did break. Water breaking through the dam. Will they drown? Yes, the whole town. Ho, ho, hey, hey. Will this hero save the day? The dam came down, the water ran, flooding all throughout the land. Will they drown? Yes, the whole town. Ho, ho, hey, hey. Can the heroes save the day? They moved fast, devised a plan to keep the townfolk on dry land. Will they drown? Yes, the whole town. Ho, ho, hey, hey. Did the heroes know the way? Townfolk gathered, praying all that the building will not fall. Will they drown? Yes, the whole town. Ho, ho, hey, hey. How many might die today?
That was amazing.
That was fantastic. And while you are composing and reciting this, you do not hear Vale under his breath say, "Maybe the fucking ogre should have just killed me."
I was waiting for, where's the whale?
I'm done.
Your camera froze.
Oh.